everyone. My name is Adrienne Lloyd, and you're watching the 5 Minute Chat. We are so excited that you're here with us. One thing that maybe you guys don't know about me is I have a brand new little Frenchie dog at home. Yeah. What about you, Kathy?
Hey everyone, it's Kathy Chenna here, one of your co-founders with The Chat. A lot of things that you guys already know about me, so I can skip that one. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching.
Hey guys, my name is Anna Teglassi. I'm excited to spend the next 5 minutes with you, and I'm wishing you a very happy Cinco de Mayo and happy Travel Agent Day.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Meyer and I'm coming to you from California.
And I'm Margot Golly, and something you guys probably don't know about me is I was a cheerleader for the BC Lions football team here in Canada. So, sorry, welcome to The Chat.
My name is Elena Burnett, and welcome to The Chat.
And I'm Doris Anderson, and our question of the day, what do you think about tipping? And what do you think is a good tip? Who would like to start?
Well, don't ask my mom because she doesn't tip on alcohol. So it really ends up looking like 10%. She doesn't tip on tax and she doesn't tip on alcohol. So her tips, I actually end up subsidizing quite quietly with a few extra dollars on the table as we leave. So
Does she leave with a tipple?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. People are funny about tips. I don't know. What do you think?
Bless you for doing that.
Yeah, well,
I know.
Everyone's got to live.
I was a server for years. So as a server, that's how we made all of our money is through tips. So thank you for doing that, because otherwise they walk away with $3 an hour and that is nothing. So I always tip minimum 20%, minimum.
Hey, and Julie, was that in California though, or was that here?
New York City.
Oh, okay. Because the rumor is here in Vancouver that a lot of the girls that work at like Earl's and Cactus Club are making over 100,000 a year. So sometimes it makes you feel a little bit like, come on now, girl, you know, I'm not going to give you 20% because you're doing just fine. You're doing better than an average nurse in Vancouver.
A few of my friends work in local restaurants, like some nicer ones, and they tip out big, like $300 to $400 easily a night. And a lot of them work, six nights a week. Tipping is important to me. My love language is like giving and receiving, very much so, like gifts. And so for me to be able to like gift that to somebody, it's like I tip on, like, if I have someone really kind that serves my gas, I give them a tip. Like I'm a big gift giver. So I love to tip stuff. Like minimum 20%, like minimum 20%. And I've often tipped 50% when I can afford it, especially when it's around like Christmas time or New Year's or something, or if they're working on a holiday. I just, if I'm financially able to do it, then I absolutely do.
That brings up a good point. Actually, Adrienne, my husband gets $20 haircuts, and he gave the gentleman $50 at Christmas. Just because it's such a rough time for them during COVID right now. I do believe in tipping well. I don't go like your mom. It seems like she does a lot of math when she's looking at that bill, Elena.
Yeah,
it's just like, whoa. And I mean, I'll often nudge my husband. I'm like, you tipped well, right? Like I'll often say that to him if he takes the bill. Because I do believe in that, but I'm also on the other side. I had a really good friend of mine, 3-4 nights a week. She worked at the Keg, if everyone remembers going there, and she would like make more money over Thursday to Saturday than her husband would bring home in some cases. So I was just flabbergasted, like all in her pocket. But then, like, I think that restaurants
and tax free.
Yeah,
a lot of times, they're not declaring all their money on that.
As a mom, as a more of a stay-at-home mom, her husband watched the kids on those nights because he knew she was like making bank in their world. But I do like to tip. I think there's different times of our lives when we've tipped more or less. And I feel like I'm at a point where I can tip and I can afford to do it. I don't think at 18, I was tipping 20%, Adrienne. Like it was just different times, right? Yeah. But I do try to tip when I can. Do we tip differently at lunch versus dinner? I'm just curious.
At dinner, I'm having more drinks. Like at dinner, I'm often having a few more bevies, so the bill's a little bit higher, and there's more of a demand, like wine. So I think that possibly, I think I probably tip more at dinner.
As a former server, As a former server, I'm a big believer in tipping. Yes, yes, and over tipping. I'm a chronic over tipper. To speak to the, wow, she makes more money in the Thursday to Saturday, or my friends make, X $100 per night. Yes, it can be true pre-COVID times, definitely not nowadays. But it's also super hard work, you guys. I worked at a pub where you're serving people, you have a huge tray of pints. It's very hard on your body. You get to put up with a lot of hassling and heckling from people. Don't get me wrong, I used to love my job when it was 20 years ago and my body could handle it. But this is certainly not something that I would have to do nowadays, because it's utterly straining, not only physically, but mentally. It can be exhausting. So they deserve all the tips, in my opinion.
And usually good service would get a higher tip. So that was one of our questions. So I think if somebody goes above and beyond, then I want to show them that I appreciate them. But in Australia, there's no tipping, just to let you know,
I
if
was
you're
just going
traveling
to
there.
say that.
They pay
Good to
their
know.
servers higher and they're not expecting a tip.
Yeah, that's exactly it. A good friend of mine lives in Australia, and we were there, and we automatically were going to tip. And she said, "What are you doing?" She said, "The restaurant owners pay their staff appropriately so that they don't have to. They're not asking for a tip, or they're not expecting a tip." But my daughter works at Cactus Club. She doesn't get exactly. Well, she's not making that much because she's a student as well. So I definitely tip, but it's just our culture. And I think everywhere is different.
Well, whatever you tip, thank you for listening to us tonight, and like and subscribe down below. We'd love to hear your comments.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.